Hey guys, what do you do when you're in that time where you're just kind of stuck with yourself? You you have these thoughts about how loud the tinnitus is, and you just feel like it's sort of hopeless. There's no way to stop thinking about it. Um, that sort of thing, you know. Maybe it's something else, but you're stuck, and you maybe would like to think about something else, but it just seems like the sound is so loud and there's nothing you can do. It feels like just sort of hopeless. What are you going to do? So I think the first thing to do is to realize that even if it's kind of bad and you're like this a lot, that it's temporary in the sense that you will have some times in the near future where you're not thinking about it so much. Now, if you just started getting tinnitus and it's new to you, that's a little bit different. It may be a little bit more set in, and it's going to take some time and effort and to get where you don't think about it so much, or where it doesn't bother you so much. But I'm just talking about just if you keep getting in that hopeless state, you have to keep going back to, wait a second, this is temporary, because sometimes I actually am in a pretty good mood and I can feel better. It's just, in some cases, you're just having a little bit of a bad day, and you have to accept, okay, this is what life dealt me today. But I can, I'm going to have a pretty good time at some other point in the near future. It's just this moment I'm not feeling so good. I think if you just tell your brain that, let your brain know, hey, look, buddy, talk to yourself, hey, look, buddy, this is not going to last forever like this. I will feel better. Is a good step forward. And then the next thing is, like, you do need to find something that you could do that might be enjoyable. Sometimes you're just like, no, wait, I'd rather sit here and be in a bad mood. I want to be in a bad mood. I reject any possibility that I could change this mood that I'm in now. And you see, I mean, I do that to myself sometimes, but I'm getting a lot better at not doing that so much, where you're doing it. That you could do something different than what you're doing right now, but for some reason you're like, no, I want to sit here and feel bad, right? So I want to invite you to free yourself of that need to sit there and feel bad, and you can find things to do. It might be something different than you didn't do, or it might be something that you go to because it works. Like, when I was in the thick of things, I would go and draw. And it's not necessarily like a way, like I'm going to feel good, I'm drawing. It wasn't like that. It was more like I'm choosing a neutral task, just something where I'm going to put my mind on something a little bit different, rather than sit here and have this thought. So then you get some pens, maybe some nice colored pens and some paper, and you can even get some scissors to make a shape, just like a little kid, right? You get some glue and paste some things together, or draw something. You can get pencils. You can go buy something on Amazon. You can get a coloring book. You can just draw something freehand yourself. You can look at a YouTube video and let them teach you how to draw something. It doesn't matter if you draw good or you draw bad, if you have a talent or you don't have a talent. It's just the fact that you're doing some neutral activity that is different than the one you were doing before, where you are just sitting there saying, I'm hopeless. Because the fact is, you don't have to do that. That you have to make the choice and notice that you're in that situation right now, and then do something about it. So, and drawing was just an example. You can read a book. You can exercise. You can learn a language and start memorizing things to say. I mean, just the idea of memorizing something. Let's see. Let's try one right now. I'll teach you Chinese for a moment. 今天 today. 今天 我 I. 今天 I. Today I 很 am. I am. 快乐 happy. 今天我很快乐. And you can back up the video and try it again. 今天我很快乐. I'm very happy. Today I'm very happy. But that's just one example. But I mean, like, you can go through sentences and learn in whatever language you want to learn, and practice this sentence, and then practice this sentence, and then practice this sentence, and then go back and think about what sentences do I remember, and then practice again. But it's a neutral activity where you're just learning something. You're using your brain where it has to work on that thing, instead of this thing where you're sitting there being hopeless. And that's so much. It's the same thing with anxiety too, right? I mean, when you're feeling anxiety, like, you just can't stop thinking about this one thing. So wait, it's temporary. I'm going to choose a neutral activity. I'm going to go do that activity, and that's it. And then if that activity is somehow failing, I'll try another activity. I'll draw. I'll learn a language. You can get the lyrics to a song and memorize the lyrics to a song and learn to sing a song. Maybe it's a happy song. You can get something and write something. Like, you can write down some goals of yours. You can write down, well, what I might do when I'm in this situation in the future. Here are some ideas I have. I could draw. I could learn a language. I could, sing a song, memorize a song. I could exercise, and you can write them down, and you can maybe make a note and put it on your wall. And whenever I feel hopeless, I'm going to go to this list. I'm going to pick one of these things, and I'm just going to simply do it. Yeah. So, I don't accept the notion that you have to feel hopeless. I know, like, I have a feeling that at some point while you were watching my video, you forgot about the sound in your ear. Maybe not the whole time, but it was like it got to where it wasn't important for a moment, because it was more important what I was saying to you. So the same thing can happen with a neutral activity, where you just say, I'm drawing. I'm watching this tutorial online. Oh, this is how you draw the nose. This is how you draw the eyes. Oh, I always sucked at drawing eyes. Those eyes actually look pretty good the way I drew them, And it's like your brain just starts going off into a different place, and you leave this world you're in where you're hopeless. You know what I mean? You might even turn a light on and do something to move around, but don't just sit there and be hopeless. There's always something you can do. And maybe some of these neutral activities that you choose might actually lead you to do something pretty interesting. And you'll be so interested in doing that, you start realizing, wow, I'm getting good at drawing. Wow, I'm getting good at this language. I can actually talk to some people and they understand我今天很快乐. I'm very happy today. I can, I actually can say that, and they understood me, and you're like, oh, so cool. I'm going to learn some more. There's like some language learning apps like Hello Talk, where you can chat with people, and practice with them. But anyways, that's my sort of like video about like being hopeless and choosing a neutral activity, realizing it's so temporary if you choose to make it that way, and like, you don't have to just sit there and think that way. There is an alternative, and you can choose it right now or whenever you're feeling hopeless, and you can make it different. It may not be perfect, but it'll be different, and it won't be so hopeless if you just will do what I said. And stop, reject that notion that you have to think this way. You don't. You can think differently, and so accept that. Okay, so that's my video about hopelessness, and I hope you have a little bit more hopefulness now, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.